What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So on Thursday, I did a video regrading 2024 offseason trades based on what we know now that we're 25 to 30 games into this season. And I thought it'd be a fun idea to make a video in a similar vein, but with the free agency classes. And I'm not going to be doing 2024 because like 2 to 3 weeks ago, I made a tier listing how the 2024 free agency class was looking based on thus far. So we're going to do 2023. 2023 was a very interesting class. No major names. So as a result, some people got absolutely insane deals. There were some steals, but there were a lot of horrible deals that we're going to talk about now. So we're going to go through them, and I'm going to give them an updated grade. At this point, these guys have played over like 100 games with their team, barring any injuries. So let's go. We're going to go based on cap hit and work our way down. And up first, well, first off, no one-year deals. I'm not going to go over one-year deals because I want to talk about deals that are still relevant, deals that are still going on. Up first, Dmitry Orlov, 2 years, $7.75 million. I'm going to go with a C+, just because objectively that first year, he wasn't remotely close to $7.75 million. He was still good for Carolina, but they paid such a premium. This year, he is sniffing around $7.75 million. Last year, 26 points. And again, the underlying numbers were very good. He fit into that Carolina system, but you got to get more for $7.75 million. This year, though, 14 points in 25 games. The analytics are great for him playing with Jalen Chatfield. Yet again, they were one of the best third pair, probably the best third pair in the NHL last year. Now they're kind of the second pair of them. Ghost and Walker kind of split the role. They're like a 2A, 2B pair. He's great. He's great this season. But because that first season, he was probably like a $5 to $5.5 million defenseman. And this year, he's maybe like 7.5, 7.75. You got to give it a C+ in total. Not a disaster. Canes fans aren't hating Dmitry Orlov, especially this season, but overall the value of this deal, it gets a C+ for me. Next up, an objectively bad deal, Alex Killorn, 4 years, $6.25 million. The writing was on the wall when this deal, when the ink hit the paper, we were like, this is a shit deal. Once we saw the tweet of this, considering the fact that Killorn was coming off a massive contract season in Tampa Bay, he had 64 points. First year in Anaheim, he puts up 47-point pace. And then this year, he is putting up 34-point pace. And he is 35 years old. They gave him a 4-year deal at 33 years old. In the moment, it was brutal. And it's only going to get worse for an Anaheim Ducks team. And Anaheim's not trying to win now, so it's not going to kill them. But in 2 seasons from now, the final year of that deal, they might be trying to make the playoffs. And that is definitely going to hold him back. And overall, over the duration of this deal, thus far, again, the first year and a half, year and a third, he's been probably like a 4.5, maybe at best $5 million player. Disaster of a deal, and it's only going to get worse from here. You got to go with the D+. Next up, JT Compher to the Detroit Red Wings. I'm going to go with the C here. It's 5 years, $5.3 million. The first year, he was worth around $5.3 million. It was probably like a B-B. He had 48 points, was a second-line center, solid defensive numbers, and also, again, 48 points is okay offensively, and he was playing around 19 minutes a night. This year, he has kind of fallen off, especially offensively, 9 points in his first 24 games, and the defensive numbers have been lackluster. He's only playing like 16 minutes a night now. He's still only 29 years old, so I think he can be around the $4-ish million player for the rest of this deal, but it's clear that he doesn't have the offensive ceiling to be a legit second-line center on a playoff team. He's more so suited to be a third-line center, and at $5.3 million with 3 years left after this, it's a little bit concerning. I think it's a semi-bad deal. It's not a disaster like an Alex Killorn, so I think a C- is fair for the JT Compher deal. Our first F, Ryan Graves, 6 years, $4.5 billion. Last year, he was like a bottom pair defenseman playing 18 minutes a night. It was not good. This year, he's playing 15 minutes a night. He has 0 points in 20 games. He is basically Pittsburgh's number 6 defenseman, making $4.5 million for 4 more seasons after this at 29 years old. His first season, he was probably like a $2.5 million defenseman. This year, he's genuinely like league minimum level. This was far too much term when they handed it out. I think some of the media just like accepted it because it was Kyle Dubas, like, oh, maybe this could be a good deal. It was a bad deal in the moment. It has truly turned into one of the worst deals of recent free agency history. On the flip side of that, Ryan O'Reilly, 4 years, $4.5 million. I'm going with an A+. Last year, no doubt an A+. He had 69 points, very good underlying numbers, helped lead the Nashville Predators to the playoffs, basically single-handedly because, well, Roman Josi was great, but in terms of the forward core, single-handedly, that top line of Forsberg, Nyquist, and O'Reilly led them to the playoffs. This year, the point totals aren't as impressive, 14 points in 26 games, but the underlying numbers are still very good in terms of expected goals for and goals against. Nashville just has like the worst luck possible at 5-on-5 this season. But even still, 14 points in 26 games at only $4.5 million. He's still easily worth $4.5 million right now, despite not getting a lot of puck luck. Yes, he is getting up there in age, but I have no doubt even the next 2 seasons after this, he's going to be at least a $4.5 million player. Last year, again, was probably like a $7.5, maybe even $8 million player. So I think that this is still one of the best snags. It sucks because now Nashville looks like they're stuck. They suck. If you went to some other team and they got him for $4.5 million, it'd be one of the best deals of recent memory. Now we flip it back to one of the horrible deals. Korpisalo, 5 years, $4 million. This gets an F-. This is even worse than the Ryan Graves one easily because it's basically over for the Ottawa Senators end. He went 21, 26, and 4 with an .890 save percentage and negative 16.1 goals saved above expected. It was not the Senators' defense core that let this guy down. They were pretty average, maybe even above average. It was Korpisalo just being such a bad goaltender. Yes, he is now playing better in Boston, but they had to trade him out. They had to retain $1 million on his contract. This is a straight F-, not quite like a Philip Grubauer if we end up doing what was that, 2021. That's arguably like the worst goaltender free agency signing ever. But Korpisalo is definitely up there in terms of the bad. Radko Gudas, the Ducks swung and missed on Killorn. I think that they kind of hit on Gudas at 3 years, $4 million. I'm going to go with an A-. Wouldn't quite go an A or an A+ because he doesn't really bring a ton offensively, but he has just been a reliable top 4 defenseman. He's still very, very elite defensively, a physical, intimidating guy, and he's just a great leader. Now he's the captain of the Anaheim Ducks. So again, although it didn't translate to wins, maybe this signing, in terms like actual wins in terms of competing at a high level, Radko Gudas was a very good veteran add for the Anaheim Ducks, and for that reason, he gets an A-. Next up, we got Justin Holl, 3 years, $3.4 million. Going with a D+ for this. I think Red Wings fans will agree with me. In his Red Wings career right now, granted, he's been healthy scratched a bunch of times. He has 11 points in 56 games, playing 15 minutes a night. That is absolutely brutal at $3.4 million. The only reason he's not an F compared to like a Ryan Graves is the fact that it is only a 3-year deal. It is only $3.4 million. They could probably move off it this offseason, but still, absolutely ass deal for the Detroit Red Wings. Another defenseman deal that didn't really work out, Connor Clifton. 3 years at $3.33 million. I'm going to go with a D for this one. He's basically been a meh bottom pair guy for the Buffalo Sabres. This money could have been used far more efficiently. He's only been playing 16, 17 in his Sabres career. Probably like a $1.5 to $2 million defenseman. So the fact that he's getting 3.33, it's pretty objectively a bad deal for the Buffalo Sabres. Back to the good side. Evan Rodrigues, 4 years, $3 million. I'm going to go with an A just because he's not some kind of superstar, but in terms of fit, this is like an A+. When looking at Evan Rodrigues, he was that perfect depth piece for the Florida Panthers. 39 points in 80 games last season in the regular season, then 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points for 24 games, including some crucial goals, especially in the Stanley Cup final. For the Florida Panthers this year, yet again, clicking at half a point per game. Not quite a Ryan O'Reilly true elite player, so I'm not going to go with an A+, but a damn good deal by Bill Zito to kind of solidify their forward core. The perfect two-way guy that you want in your middle six. Next up, Luke Schenn, D+, 3 years, $2.75 million. He's big. He hits a lot. He's okay defensively, but offers virtually nothing defensively. So at his age, he still has 1 year left after this. Not some kind of horrendous signing, but I've just never really been that big of a fan of Luke Schenn. He gets a D+. Miles Wood, 6 years, $2.5 million. I'm going to go with the C-. He had a decent first year for the Colorado Avalanche with 26 points. He's fast. He can be electric. If it's your first time watching Miles Wood, you might think that this guy is an absolute beast, but he has absolute dog shit hands based on what I saw in New Jersey, as well as him in Colorado. I watched a lot of him in New Jersey, and also he's not that good of a finisher. So he's a player that can maybe pop in like small sample sizes, but we've seen it over the past 4 to 6 years at this guy. Maybe he's worth $2.5 million right now. But again, that much term, he's only 28, 29 years old. Those legs might slow down. As a result, I don't think it's that good of a deal for the Colorado Avalanche. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about this list? There's some one-year guys. I'm going to pull them up right now. Just like I'll tell you what I'd give them. Tyler Bertuzzi, 1 year, $5.5 million. I think that gets like a B minus. He was like a 20-20 guy, played pretty good in the playoffs. Jason Zucker got 1 year, $5.3 million with the Coyotes. It's like a C. I think they ended up trading him, I'm pretty sure. Tarasenko to Ottawa at $5 million. Probably gets like a C minus. He ended up getting traded at the deadline for only a third and a fourth. Who else? John Klingberg to Toronto for $4.15 million. That gets an F minus. Shane Gothisbehere, 1 year, $4.125. That gets an A, arguably an A plus. He was great for Detroit. I think I'd go with an A plus there. So compared to Justin Holl, yikes. Max Pacioretty, 1 year, $4 million to Washington. That gets like a D. Connor Brown, 1 year, $4 million after the bonus money to Edmonton. He was good in the playoffs for them, but overall still that was very underwhelming. D as well. And then other guys, Eric Johnson to Buffalo, 1 year, $3 million. Matt Duchene. Eric Johnson, I'd give like a D plus or whatever. But Matt Duchene, 1 year, $3 million. That gets an A plus. That's where the video ends. See you in the next one. Peace.